What's a quote that permanently changed the way you look at things? You might be the sweetest peach on the tree, but some people just don't like peaches. This helped me get over my lifelong desire to be liked by everyone, and allowed me to focus on becoming someone I actually liked. Worrying is a waste of your imagination. I saw it spray painted on a sidewalk somewhere, and now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. John Steinbeck, East of Eden. Thank you, I need that one. Wow, I like that one. That's what I tell myself the night before a test I didn't study for. Because in reality, the only time a scary thing needs to hurt you is when it is happening. If there is something you can do to prepare, do it. If there isn't, then don't worry about it. I think it goes like this: worrying about something before it happens is suffering twice. You blew my mind with this one. I need to tattoo this on my forehead. The first time I read these words, I wept. Most of my life I'd enjoyed praise from my family, friends, and colleagues for being outstanding, even as many of them relished in reminding me what a perfectionist I was. Not only did Steinbeck give me permission to seek something other than perfection, he gave me a nobler aim to center my efforts around. Around the same time I encountered a Latin phrase that means to be rather than to seem to be. Turns out it's a whole lot harder to pretend to be good, while not actually being the thing, than it is to pretend to be perfect. And, thankfully, it's a lot more difficult to convince yourself into believing an untruth about yourself when you can't even convince other people of it. I'm neither perfect nor good, but I know which one I'd rather be. I heard this from my boss as, "Don't let perfect be the enemy of good." It's definitely stuck with me, a sometimes perfectionist. That one is a Voltaire quote, I believe. My favorite version is, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Brushing your teeth for 30 seconds is better than not brushing them at all. Banging out a horrible first draft of that presentation is better than sitting frozen with perfectionist anxiety. Absolutely love this one. I use it all the time to get myself moving on a project or a chore. It's funny though, because there are some people who refuse to understand this quote. Graveyards are full of irreplaceable people. That quote helped me stop going down the path of working myself to death because my job needs me. If I could smash the upvote bottom for hours, I would do so on this statement. I am 53 and I have been successful and moved up the ranks. I have also worked myself almost to death. I destroyed a marriage in the process too. Something changed in me when I got remarried and took on 4 kids. I had 0 in my first marriage. I was in the midst of going for school superintendent positions and thought I was ready and wanted that. The new wife and 4 kids changed that for me. Don't ask me what they did or didn't do. It just changed me. There was one point at work where I had terrible chest pains, and it was right before I got remarried. We had been dating though. I drove myself to the hospital and didn't even tell anyone in the office I was doing that. I knew the job was stressing me, but the pain was severe. I didn't want to die young the same way my parents did. Got to ER, they ran all their tests and then had to be admitted for observation and a heart cath. Took till the next day to get it, but my new wife-to-be spent the whole night in the hospital with me. Got in the room for the cath. You are still awake and they ask you things. The doctor goes, "Damn. Your heart looks as good as the day you were born. No issues whatsoever." The on-call doctor comes to the room and tells me all the results etc. and chalks it up to stress. I have been stressed before, but that stress hurt. Right then I knew that I had to change and not work so damn much. I tell all my young cocky 30-year-old principals this every time I can. They still kill themselves with work. I tell everyone. Everything you are working will be there tomorrow. Some things have to sit for a bit. I am not lazy by any means. I am just not dying for a job. I am also not saying work hard, play hard either. Work is work. I don't want to have it define me. I want to retire soon and enjoy what little life I have left. This quote is spot on. I would give anything for the love of my life to understand this. It is just a job, it does not love you like your friends and family do. But I need to go to work to get the money to bring to the grocery store to exchange for food to eat. What am I supposed to do, grow the food myself? I think the quote is people were created to be loved, things were created to be used. The reason the world is in chaos is because things are being loved and people are being used. That mountain you've been carrying, you were only supposed to climb, really helped me overcome a lot of traumatic experiences and difficult chapters in my life. I hope it helps someone else out there. Oof. That just hit like a ton of bricks. I've carried a fucking hellacious amount of tragedy for 20 years as a veteran of the invasion of Iraq. Thank you for your service, I'm sorry you've paid a cost for it. Thanks, it's just a thing. Been working a long time to get rid of this mountain. I believe that you can do it. It may be hard, but trauma is something we can work through. 15 years of therapy has made it slightly more bearable. Started intensive inpatient stuff last year, which blew a big bag of dicks. Back into EMDR the last 10 months. I'll fucking do it or I'll die of old age still trying. I have a wonderful quote hanging on my computer. I don't know how my story ends, but I know it will never say I gave up. Another great quote. One I have now stolen from this thread, LOL. Thank you for your service. I hope those burdens get easier to bear as you progress your treatment. 15 years is a really long time to stick to helping yourself. It can be so hard to keep that motivation. You should be tremendously proud of yourself for that. Best wishes moving forward. Well, I certainly can't say it's constantly trying. There's definitely 5 to 10 years of throwing myself into sex, drugs, and rock and roll in between brief tries to get help. Eventually figured out that it didn't work either, and none of those feelings were real feelings either. Person shrugging. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. Marianne Radmacher. I came across this a long time ago, at a point in life that I really needed this lesson. It's okay if I feel sad and resigned, if my depression beat me for today and I wasn't able to function. I didn't fail, I'm not weak, I will try again tomorrow. Courage is not the towering oak, that sees storms come and go. It is the fragile flower, that blossoms in the snow. Sounds like something Uncle Iroh would say. It's easy to fool someone, it's hard to convince them that they've been fooled. One of the saddest lessons of history is this: if we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. Carl Sagan.